both the railroad and the sandbox as extremes are bad. In one case, player choice doesn't matter. The DM shuts down anything that doesn't fit within their linear, narrow, predetermined story structure. And in the other case, player choice still doesn't really matter because every choice is so equally important that nothing is really important. There just is no story at all. So recently I made this cool video about finding the middle ground, but some folks in the comments asked for a little more railroad. And I think they made the right call, because what I seemed to leave out was how you turn all those plot points into a cohesive story that is guaranteed to impress your players. So that's this video. And obviously I recommend watching that one after this video, but here's what you need to know. First, you create about 4 plot points, just cool locations with descriptive names, and scatter them around your map with simple, low-stakes plot hooks. And use a couple barely random encounters to keep things exciting. And always ask where the party plans to go next so you can flesh out those locations, capitalizing on your own character's ideas by asking them open-ended questions. And those steps are enough to create fun and memorable campaigns. But a little more railroad can turn your hastily scribbled out quest locations into an engaging story. All we need to do is find connections among those locations that will point your party toward whatever you want them to do, usually kill a lich or something. But there's the problem with breaking down this process of making big story connections. It's highly specific to the setting, campaign, and player characters of your story. So the best method I could come up with is to break down the best 5e book and maybe the worst 5e book for a sandbox-on-rails campaign. And before I reveal those picks, another useful tool for fleshing out your quest locations is our sponsor, Describe. They're an online library of professionally written box text that you can use to make your campaign more detailed, more immersive, and this month they're giving away 5 subscriptions, including 4 player subscriptions, so they can help add more details too. Check out Describe through the affiliate link below so they know who sent you, and use code BOB to save 10% if you sign up. So I'm sorry, but by far the most challenging sandbox book that I've read is Icewind Dale: Rime of the Frost Maiden. Way too much sand, not enough rail. It gives you 13 starting quests spread across 10 towns that are way too easy to travel between despite the harsh conditions. And if we're being generous, only about 5 of them have a direct or indirect connection to the BBEG, the Frost Maiden. And it gets worse. Chapter 2 has 32 more quests and encounters with generously like 10 that connect to the Frost Maiden. Then there's a whole subplot chapter about Dwergar that kinda makes more sense, but at that point, my group was like 20 sessions in and feeling pretty stuck with this book. So what exactly did it do wrong? The starting plot point locations were primarily towns, so the names and descriptions weren't evocative or easy to make hooks to the player characters. And there were way too many options, all way too close together, so it's impossible to feel prepared even though they're already fleshed out. The other chapters do have great names for their plot points and also provide lots of detail, but there's still way too many options with too few solid connections to the actual plot. Great resource for running purely sandbox Arctic adventures, but not really for running the one on the cover. Unlike this bad boy, the D&D Essentials Kit, a freaking masterclass of the sandbox on rails. Its module, the Dragon of Icefire Peak, has 3 starting quest locations that each provide a reason for the party to go, plus it has a designated starting location that doubles as a home base for the party to return to, so there's a lot less guessing involved for the DM. Then more quests are seeded in at predetermined milestones, always providing options, but not too many options. And pretty much every quest connects directly or indirectly to the BBEG. It's got cool locations and descriptive names across the board, and even a few quest locations with hooks to each other, but not too many, so your party does keep returning to that starting location. But the main takeaway for our purposes is the pattern. Each plot point location contains one of the following 3 hooks: people who need to be warned about the dragon, people or places that may have useful items to face the dragon, and monsters that have been displaced by the dragon. and technically some monsters being influenced by other monsters that were displaced by the dragon. That's a perfect framework for your low-level adventures. Big monster moves in, weaker monsters start causing trouble. Guess we better collect some MacGuffins we'll need to face these little monsters or the big monster. Oh, and they happen to be scattered around our home base among 3 to 6 evocatively named quest locations with minor connections to our characters that will deepen into our backstories the more we investigate. Hooray! You're the best DM ever. Like this video if you agree. The best part is that when your party gets a few levels in and finally defeats that big monster, they'll realize, or they should realize if you did this right, that it was created, controlled, or displaced by another even worse villain from another region. So really, your railroad should always just be moving between one little sandbox to another, and whew, I'm kind of getting tired of this analogy, so go watch that prequel video. Thank you to Describe. There's an actual train in the background now. I did not plan that, but keep building.